Holy cow, guys, the secrets are being let out and these folks are being exposed. I mean, I don't understand how Fani Willis and her office is getting away with some of this stuff, but it looks like the judge that's presiding over this case has completely lost it. I mean, at some point in time, you got to expect that, the judge is going to break, he's going to snap, he's going to just basically just lose it and go off with all the different shenanigans that these folks are doing. And we've seen this with the Donald Trump case. We've seen this with the Fani Willis Donald Trump election interference case in Georgia. And the circus continues, guys. The circus absolutely continues. Before I share these details with you guys, before you watch this unbelievable episode uh, unfold, it's sometimes hard to believe that this is an actual courtroom, and the amount, and I got to hand it to the judge, the amount of crap that he puts up with before he completely just kind of goes off. I mean, the judge like gets up and I mean, he clearly had enough, right? But the simple fact of the matter is that the judge just puts up with so much. And it's like, okay, if this was Donald Trump's lawyer, if this was Donald Trump's lead counsel, do you even believe that he would have had the patience to put up with it? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Before we get started, all I ask is that you guys take a second, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. I hope you guys are able to see and hear me okay. We got Jose Lamelli in here, Kyle Matthews, beautifully inappropriate, Keenan Ripeman. What's good, brother? Stacy Leffler. All right, let's get going. Yeah, some of you guys, you're not going to believe what this judge is putting up with here. Unbelievable, unbelievable.
Understand my constitutional obligations. Pursuant to the 6th and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution, the corresponding sections of the Georgia Constitution, I'm required to make a full and complete statement to the court. For the record, and if God forbid this goes up on appeal for the appellate courts or another tribunal, commission, or administrative body, I was told, based upon information and belief, that when we arrived at 8:30, 9 o'clock today, we did not come into your courtroom until almost 11:30. And what I found out.
So it's almost like he's kind of like calling the judge out for not starting the court session on time. That's step one. Number one, you don't want to offend the judge that's presiding over the case. Like, that's almost, that's just me. I mean, do you really want to offend the guy who's running the show? But here we have essentially a secret meeting with Fani Willis's team in Georgia. It got a lawyer held in contempt of court. Now, this probably will not be the last time, but there's a lot to unpack here, guys. And I just want to kind of paint the picture a little bit better before you guys watch this, because you need to understand a couple of details. Number one, this is in connection to the RICO trial for Young Thug. Now, the trial hasn't exactly been a model for the court proceedings, as we've seen lawyers shouting at the judge while exhibiting all sorts of unprofessionalism within the courtroom. Now, we can understand that, clearly tensions are running very high in order to win these high profile cases. I mean, we've seen it with Donald Trump. Actually, we've seen a lot of it with Donald Trump, as a matter of fact. But is it too much to ask for just a little bit of professionalism? But this is kind of difficult to accept for the DA's office. Late April, Fani Willis's office, they faced accusations of lying to Judge Ural Glanville in this very case, guys. And it was another crazy, wild episode that took place in the courtroom. But a concern was raised about Assistant District Attorney Adriane Love's actions to misrepresent a 17-second video that was supposed to be included as evidence. Now, Adriane Love told the judge that, hey, the individuals in the background, they were simply saying, yeah, right? when in reality, they were also heard saying other phrases. So, I mean, this is like, wouldn't that be like lying? Isn't that like perjuring yourself? Again, okay. So now the defense team argued that Fani Willis's team was lying right in front of the judge. Can you imagine that? Fani Willis's team lying in front of the judge? Remember the whole Nathan Wade, Fani Willis relationship situation that they tried to keep under wraps? And eventually, Michael Roman's lawyer, Ashley Merchant, blew the lid off of that thing and basically spilled the beans on those guys and exposed Fani Willis and Nathan Wade's relationship that they tried to hide from the court. But anyway, in this clip that I'm about to show you guys, the defense team is arguing about a secret meeting that Willis's team had with the judge. Now, it's a little bit lengthy, but I want you guys to stick around because it is absolutely worth it. Also got a bombshell report at the end that you guys are not going to believe, and it involves none other than DA Fani Willis. But take a listen here.
I understand my constitutional obligations. Pursuant to the 6th and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution, the corresponding sections of the Georgia Constitution, I'm required to make a full and complete statement to the court. For the record, and if God forbid this goes up on appeal for the appellate courts or another tribunal, commission, or administrative body, I was told based upon information and belief that when we arrived at 8:30, 9 o'clock today, we did not come into your courtroom until almost 11:30. And what I found out just recently, this is not waived, is that supposedly in chambers, this honorable court reporter at times, honorable court at times, district attorney or district attorneys from the DA's office, as well as investigators, sheriff deputies, Mr. Copeland and his counsel met together. None of the defense team, to my knowledge, was aware that this was going on.
Ooh.
It was told, based upon information belief, that it was told to the district attorneys
that sure does sound like a secret meeting to me.
Mr. Copeland intended to plead the Fifth Amendment. Then I was told, based upon information belief, that Adriane Love, the lawyer for Mr. Copeland, and this court were together, and Ms. Love made representations that John Melnick supposedly spoke with some attorneys for the accused and wrote an email to Ms. Love, to Adriane Love, stating that Mr. Melnick does not represent the witness, and that Mr. Melnick wrote an email saying F you, and then somehow that email was CC'd to me. That never...
Mr. Steele, can I interrupt you just a second? I'm kind of disturbed because that's ex parte. All that was an ex parte conversation. How did you find out about any of that?
Well, I'm disturbed too. And the reason
I'm asking you a question. How did you find out about it?
I'm going to ask you the question.
Okay.
Scuttle, if you look at SCUDDER versus State, which is 298 Georgia, 438, it's Division 2, 782 Southeast 2D 638, 2016. Our highest court says when a court meets, because Mr. Copeland comes in, meets with the court supposedly made statements, which I assume is somewhat accurate based upon what you just said. We're entitled, Mr. Williams and every other person wrongly charged here is entitled under the Georgia Constitution to be present. That's a critical stage.
It's just like when you meet with me and you and Mr. Adams meet with me and others have met with me. It's those were ex parte for a lot of different other reasons, but I will certainly note that for purposes of record.
Well, I'm going forward. What I was told was that Mr. Copeland said...
And you haven't answered my question yet.
I'm not going to answer that question.
You're not?
No, I will not answer that question.
Why will you not answer that question?
Because...
Hold up. This is about to get explosive, ladies and gentlemen. The defense attorney is unwilling to... And he said he was actually going to answer the question. Let me know if you guys heard that. He actually said he was going to answer the question. And then the judge allowed him to speak a little bit more. And then, after speaking a little bit more, the judge kind of interrupted him again, saying, hey, asking, how'd you get this information? Again, the judge is inquiring about this secret meeting. How did he discover this information? I mean, you guys, you heard the judge. He didn't care that this guy knew about the meeting. All he wanted to know was, how was this information leaked? And that attorney is Brian Steele, that you're hearing speaking with the judge right now. So that attorney right there, that's Brian Steele. He is actually on the defense team, and he's making a lot of sense here, actually, if you think about it. He also took off his coat and his tie a little bit later on in the trial because basically, I'm not going to ruin it for you guys. Let's just go ahead and watch it pan out. Hold on one second.
Wrongly charged here is entitled under the Georgia Constitution to be present. That's a critical stage.
It's just like when you meet with me, and you and Mr. Adams meet with me, and others have met with me. It's those are ex parte for a lot of different other reasons, but I will certainly note that for purposes of the record.
Well, I'm going forward. What I was told was that Mr. Copeland said,
and you haven't answered my question yet.
I'm not going to answer that question.
You're not?
No, I will not answer that question.
Why will you not answer that question?
Because I want to make sure that what I say is accurate, and I'm not trying to get
No.
anybody else.
I'm asking you, how did you get this information?
I'm not telling the court. What I'm saying is based upon information.
Okay, well, listen, if you don't tell me how you got this information, then you and I are going to have some problems.
We can have his, I have problems right now.
Okay, I know. Look, I don't want to know about your problems. Okay, at this point in time, all I'm asking you at this point in time is, how did you come upon this information? Look, if the case gets reviewed, the record's going to be available for our appellate court and for whatever reason. But it's disturbing that somehow you have surreptitiously gotten information in regards to the court's private ex parte conversation with a party. I mean,
a witness who was sworn in Friday. The court's telling, this is what I was told. If this is not true, not true. This court handed Mr. Copeland.
Tell me how you got the information.
Listen, whatever you want to do.
Tell me how you got the information, then we can go ahead and go forward.
I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is this. I was told, and I hope this concerns the court.
It concerns me that you have proprietary.
Did y'all notice what the judge just did? Did you guys see what he just did with his hands? I hope you guys noticed that.
Information.
Why is it
or
proprietary?
Information that you should not be having that was ex parte.
Why?
With a party.
Why?
State of Georgia.
How about the witness? How about Mr. Copeland, who supposedly announced he's not testifying and he'll sit for 2 years, and then supposedly this honorable court, or excuse me, let me rephrase that. This court supposedly said, I can hold you until the end of this trial. Ms. Hilton supposedly said actually all of the defendants and then all 26 people are disposed of. If that's true, what this is coercion, witness intimidation, ex parte communications that we have a constitutional right to be present for. So I understand that you're upset towards me, but I don't know what I did.
Mr. Steele, I still want to know, how did you come upon this information? Who told you?
What I want to
Wait. As a judge, though, shouldn't you be curious as to this coercion, like looking for more information about this coercion? I mean, the judge is seemingly more interested in finding out how did you find out versus, the details on this. It sounds like corruption to me. Witness intimidation. I mean, come on, guys.
What I want to know is, why wasn't I there? Why,
sir? I'm going to hold you in contempt if you don't tell me who tell me who this information was coming from.
I don't want to be held in contempt. Well, I'm not answering that question. That's attorney-client privilege information. I am not
attorney-client privilege. Unless you were in my chambers, that's the only way you can figure out.
I
tell you what, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you don't tell me,
Did he have a secret camera in the judge's chambers, or a microphone, or what happened there? How did he get this information?
If you don't tell me who it is, I'm going to put you. I'm going to put you in contempt because that is not attorney-client privilege.
Attorney work product privilege. I am not.
How did you get that information supposedly from my chambers? Did somebody tell you?
I'm not. You should have told me.
Ooh.
You got 5 minutes.
Well, I don't need it. I want to continue.
You got 5 minutes?
This is what I was told. Mr. Copeland made statements that he admitted to killing Donovan Thomas. And don't take my notes. No.
Oh, okay, guys, hold on a second. Now it really looks as if the judge was a little bit stunned and maybe even embarrassed at the same time. I mean, like, this means that Fani Willis's team is maybe playing a little bit dirty here. But now an ex parte meeting is basically a conversation where only one party is involved, and talking to the judge, right? Now, in this particular case, it's the DA's team. This means that if the defense were not made aware of this communication, then they would not have known that this had happened. And so it makes a lot of sense as to why the judge asked the attorney, Steele, so many times where he got this information. Apparently, there's a leak, there's a mole, there's a bug, a hidden secret camera or something like that. Ingrid Hubert, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. There is a leak somewhere. The judge got checked. Yes, he did. The judge did get checked. And then he just stood up and walked off. But what you should know, though, is that something supposedly happened in this ex parte conversation here, enough for Mr. Steele to say, hey, look, there was an attempt at coercion. There was some witness intimidation. And as he says this, basically the prosecution is visibly seen shaking their heads. You can see them like they're like there's the women in the front. Where are they? The women in the front. Let me see. This is 7. Let's go back here. You can see these ladies here on the left were kind of like shaking their
Chambers,
heads.
did somebody tell you?
I'm not. You should have told me.
You got 5 minutes.
Well, I don't need it. I want to continue.
You got 5 minutes?
This is what I was told. Mr. Copeland,
recess.
Mr. Copeland made statements that he admitted to killing Donovan Thomas and was. Don't take my notes. No.
Okay. So, but as he says this, the prosecution, they're kind of like shaking their heads, and it's like they knew that they got caught. And this is the style of Fani Willis. This is, I think this has Fani Willis's signature all over it. And even as he stated this, the judge pushed him to divulge where he got this information. He wanted the attorney to rat out his contacts. Now, to which Steele asked him directly and to the point, what I want to know is why wasn't I there? This further infuriated Judge Glanville, prompting him to stand up and walk out of the courtroom on Steele. A police officer then obviously walked over to Mr. Steele and attempted to take the notes that he was reading from. And so now we're not talking about who's innocent or guilty here. What we're talking about is the Constitution, because the defense team had the right to be in the meeting. So why was the defense team not a part of the meeting? And of course they were not a part of the meeting. And so it really makes it, what makes it even worse is that it's now allegedly that Fani Willis's team tried to intimidate a witness, or at least this is what the defense attorney is alleging. But of course, it was Mr. Steele who was held in contempt of court. How is that fair? I feel like this is just like corruption to the next level here. Like, how is this even fair? Do you think Fani Willis is getting away with something? Fani Willis's office, the district attorney's office is getting away with this? Y'all let me know what you think. And this is not the worst thing that we're going to hear from her office. As I alluded to earlier, guys, a new report shows that Fani Willis may have received a donation from a fraudster. Shalitha Robertson, a former Atlanta city attorney who was sentenced to 7 years in prison over a massive $15 million pandemic loan fraud, donated to Fani Willis's campaign after applying for the said loan. Now, there is just so much impropriety going on in Atlanta, in Fulton County, Georgia, that it's just incredible to know that these people are still in office, guys. Now, you should also know that Robertson bought herself a Rolls Royce. I mean, just balling out of control with some newfound money and a massive 10-carat diamond ring on her panky. No, I'm just kidding. But with the money that she stole with the government, I mean, like, what are they doing here, guys? Like, this is what we're dealing with. And it kind of bears a very striking resemblance to the DA that is in Fulton County right now, guys, who is also being accused of misusing government federal grant money. What was his name? Jim Jordan House Committee Chairman Jim Jordan is has opened up an investigation, essentially accusing Fani Willis of potentially misusing federal grant money. Now, some critics are arguing that this is what you get when you elect unqualified individuals who are only in it for themselves. The DEI, the George Soros backed individuals and whatnot. But yeah, like, what do you guys think about this? Is there like an odor of corruption within the DA's office? And if so, should they continue to hold their positions with this sort of demeanor? I mean, and I understand, we're not all going to agree on, the same things, and I expect that, that we're probably not going to agree on everything. But at the same time, I do hope that we'll all be respectful of one another in the comments. But yeah, this is wild here. Quick shout out and thank you to Cowboy Rob. Thanks so much for the $2 super chat. Where's Georgia State Representative Attorney General? That's a very good question. You would think that this would be right about the time that they would step in, but I can't. I have no idea where they are at this point. Man, let's see. Skip through.
Hey, Mr. Steele, would you take the podium, please, sir? All right. All right. Mr. Steele, before I recessed, I asked you, how did you get this information? And it is not covered by work product. There's only one way you could have gotten it. Ooh. So I'm going to ask you again.
And I respect that. And it gives me no joy, but as you know, Georgia Rule Professional Conduct, please check me. Rule 1.6, comment 5 reads, and this is what I have. 1.6.
I know what the rule says, but here's the thing.
Well, I'm just.
You need to please tell me who you got it from. I'm not asking you sum and substance of anything as of yet, okay? But I need you to tell me how you got the information. If you don't tell me how you got the information, I'm going to hold you in contempt.
I understand. I don't want to be held in contempt.
And I don't want to hold you in contempt, but this is so sacrosanct to have a conversation in my chambers parroted to you and others. It is that serious.
Yeah. That's why I raise it.
The level of concern that this judge has for this mole or this potential leak or a potential, I don't know, is there like a hidden camera set up in the judge's office? I mean, like, what's really going on here? And you can tell, I mean, look at look at the body language of the judge. Listen to the emotional connection that the judge is having right now. He is absolutely concerned about how this information leaked out of his personal quarters, because again, obviously the defense attorney was not included in this ex parte, and for all of the details, apparently the details are true, and I'm going to say that they're apparently true to me, because why else would the judge respond like this? He is reacting. The judge is reacting in a way where it's almost confirmational that, hey, what this defense attorney is saying actually happened, and I need to know, how does he know that? So, but yeah, guys, the level of corruption going on is unreal, and it really begs the question: is this is like, so the defense here is like the equivalent of Donald Trump, right? So you have Donald Trump as a defendant who is being represented by Steve Sadow as his lead attorney in the Georgia election interference case with Fani Willis. This would be like Fani Willis having a ex parte conversation with the judge without Donald Trump's lead attorney or any of Donald Trump's lead counsel attorneys being present and being a part of the conversation taking place. And then having Donald Trump's attorneys discover this ex parte conversation having taken place, having all the details that took place, and then the judge freaking out saying, "How did you find out about this conversation? Who leaked this information to you?" You know, so but this is wild. This is wild. This is what we're seeing in Atlanta. Wanted to quickly share this with you guys. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think that this is corrupt? How do you think that we can get any kind of fairness when the legal system seems to be, I hate to say in shambles, but to this level of corruption, it's just kind of wild. But anyway, I hope you guys appreciated the video this evening. If you haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button. It's totally free. Subscribe to the channel. I got a lot more fire content to bring you guys on future videos. Make sure you're a part of it. I want to thank all of you guys for the super chats. Thank you for hitting the join button. I mean, our members are growing on the channel. I want to thank you guys as always for all the support. And make sure your notification bells are turned on so you don't miss our next update. I'll see you guys on the next one. Y'all be safe.